To mark Black History Month, ABC News' groundbreaking Soul of a Nation returns tonight with Screen Queens Rising. The special explores how Black actresses have become major power brokers in Hollywood, and it features ABC News senior national affairs correspondent Deborah Roberts' interview with Tessa Thompson, the star of films like Passing and the Creed franchise.
Is there a different journey for women depending on the tone of your skin, would you say, in Hollywood?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's undeniable if you just look at Hollywood iconography by and large. You can see it. It's clear as day. And I think that's a part of the, the design of my company with Viva Mod is really wanting, looking at Hollywood, looking at this problem of colorism, going, sometimes I contribute to that. I'm certainly the benefactor of that in some ways.
Please welcome Deborah to the TAM fam. Hey, I mean, obviously this is not a secret. This is not a secret anywhere. And to have these actresses open up like Tessa, what was the goal here?
The goal was to sort of shed light on the journey, Tamron. You know, and so many of us know, of course, this has been a very bumpy journey for Black women in Hollywood. Now, we celebrate on Soul of a Nation, we celebrate where we are, and it's all about, wow, haven't we made such progress in front of and behind the camera? But where have we been? And you know, in our communities, you have to talk about where you've been. So we look at Hattie McDaniel, Ruby Dee, Dorothy Dandridge, all of those who paved the way for us. And now Tessa Thompson, who is a beneficiary, trying to tear down some of those barriers, but also acknowledging she's standing on shoulders and she's benefited in some ways because of an ideal of what Hollywood should look like.
Absolutely, and even what roles Hollywood should offer actresses like her. I know you asked her the question about if there was a role she would not take, and she answered.
And I wondered about that, because she's come so far from a Hattie McDaniel. Would you play a slave? Would you play a maid? And she paused for a second because Tessa is a real craftsperson. She's a real actress. And I think she was hesitant to dismiss it because that's also a part of history. So what is the role? I think she'd have to think about that for a minute.
She described a surreal moment when she felt linked to another female performer.
She just, so much of what she thinks about is who's come before her. Halle Berry, who we meet in the special. Halle is beautiful and young and vibrant, but she was somebody Tess looked up to. Tess is younger. And she talks about feeling linked to Halle when her name was mentioned once in the same sentence, once when they were at an event. So these are women who appreciate each other. They feel a real sisterhood, but they also recognize that it's a journey. It's a tough journey.
Well, the journey also now more than ever before includes production companies and producing your own content, which is what she brings up. It's one thing to wait in line for someone to cast you in a role. It is another for you to produce the movie, produce the book that you kept under your bed as a Black, brown girl versus someone else who may not have ever heard that story.
And that's so important to Tessa. She's got a new company, Viva Mod, where she wants to honor all people, and actresses of all different hues. Halle Berry, of course, she's producing and directing a film. And then we have 17-year-old Marseille Martin.
Yes, who's amazing.
Who's a producer, from Blackish. You may know her from Blackish. So that's the new generation. And of course, behind the camera, we know that's where a lot of the power is. So this is a look back. It's a beautiful journey. It's a frustrating journey, but it also is something to applaud, Tamron.
It is, and we've had Marseille on our show and Halle, and having actress, but also director and executive producer following their names meant something, and they made sure that we made it part of the conversation.
That's right. That's where the real power is.
It is.
That's how you greenlight something, right?
All right. Well, thank you so much. Congratulations on the series. And Deborah, of course, you can watch her in Soul of a Nation presents Screen Queens Rising. Airs tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC. Thank you to the TAM fam for joining us. Thank you to all of our brilliant podcast content creators. Watch Soul of a Nation. We'll watch for you on our next show. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.